I think my wife is the one that deserves the round of applause. I think most men would say that for putting up with us, but she's a good lady, and she has many crowns in heaven because of that. We're going to go to Hebrews chapter 13, just so you're prepared. Hebrews chapter 13, but it is Christmas, and I did grow my Santa beard for Christmas, and I don't know. But I thought maybe, just for fun, we'll just see if you guys could do this. On the count of three, I'd love for you to shout out what it is that the biggest thing, not biggest, but the thing you want most for Christmas. All right? On the count of three, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Money, wow. There's a lot of money out there. All right. How about this one? On the count of three. What you are getting one of your parents for Christmas. I know that you have thought about this. What you're getting one of your parents for Christmas. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Nobody said money. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Last one. On the count of three, what you're getting your favorite teacher. What you're getting your favorite teacher for Christmas. All right? I'll plug my ears because most of you are going to get something for me. I know that, and so it's going to be a big deal. But, all right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Money. iPad. All right, I like that. All right. Whoever has these people up here, you're getting an iPad. Heard some people yell out money. All right. Let me ask you another question, and we're going to go into our message here. But I wanted you to kind of get into the participatory mood, if I could, because the title of the message, for those of you that are taking notes, and I hope all of you are taking notes, the title of the message is Pursuing Profitability. Pursuing Profitability. That's right. I put in there the 2 P's, Pursuing Profitability. And I wanted to ask this question to our students. Students, I would like for you to seriously answer this question. And I think if everybody answers this question, I think everyone will answer it the same way. I could be wrong. But when we talk about pursuing profitability, could I have you stand up? You don't have to say a word. You just have to stand up if you desire to be profitable. If you desire to be profitable, would you just stand up without saying a word? Just stand up. We have one person, all right? I think almost without saying a word. All right. This is just for students, all right? Teachers, I want you to have a seat. If you would like to be profitable, all right. Now I need you to be quiet. Shh. Quiet, please. Quiet. Please stay standing. If you're standing. Okay, I got to have you to be quiet over here. Is this 7th grade over here? 7th grade, turn around. 7th grade, turn around. Just pay attention right here. All right. Now I want to ask a question to the teachers. I want to ask a question to your teachers. Teachers, stand up if you want to see your students be profitable. All right? Stand up if you want to see your students be profitable. All right? Now, I need everybody's attention one more time. Shh, quiet please. Thank you. I would like you to look around because we have a point of agreement. Listen please. Shh, quiet. You want to be profitable, and your teachers want you to be profitable. Can you see how we're trying to work together for that same thing? You may be seated. I want all of our students to be profitable. I want all of our students to be productive. And I believe all of your teachers do as well. Unfortunately, what's happened in our society that we live in, and sometimes up in our minds that we kind of think about, we have a wrong perception of what's going on at school. We almost look at teachers as someone who's out to get us, someone who is against us. And I'm telling you right now that the teachers that we have at our school are not out to get any students. They're here because they want you to succeed. They're here because they want you to be profitable. And that is their desire. And that's what their goal is for you. I can assure you right now, guys, if you look at me, none of your teachers are getting rich here at Westwood Christian School. They could leave this school and go to any other school and make twice as much money as they make here, but that's not what they're here for. They're here for you. And they're here because they want you to be profitable. And have you noticed, guys, have you looked at this when graduates from our school come back? Have you noticed how teachers will go to those kids? Now they're maybe adults by now, but they'll go to them and they'll ask, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? And we love to see our graduates come back because we get excited about what God is doing in their lives. We get excited about what God is working and how He's working in their lives. And it's the same for you. It's just like we talk about the Westwood family, and we're a family here, and we're here for you. We're here to help you. But what happens, unfortunately, is I think Satan likes to get us off track of what's really going on. And we start to look at our authorities and our teachers and our parents as they're people that are out to get us. They're people that are not here for us. And guys, this is what we're here for. We're here for you, and we want to help you. And so I wanted to go to Hebrews chapter 13 and verse number 17. So write that down as the passage. This is the only passage of Scripture we're going to be in. This is the only verse that we're going to look at today. And I want to kind of take some time and go through this verse with you. But Hebrews chapter 13 and verse number 17. Notice what it says. Obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves. For they watch for your souls as they must give an account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. And so if we want to be profitable, we take the reverse of this, right? What's unprofitable for us? Well, when we don't obey and submit to the authority that God has placed in our lives. And so I just want to encourage you guys to understand that your teachers are here for you, that we want to help you, that we want you to succeed in life. We want you to be profitable. That's our desire. That's our goal for you. And so as I was going through this, I want you to write down, first of all, Roman numeral 1. You can just write down Roman numeral 1 and just put obey. Just put obey. And you guys may not know me very well, but I love to alliterate messages. I love to have all O's or all P's or all D's. I love to do that. So I was trying to do that with this message, and so I like to use a thesaurus. Do you guys know what a thesaurus is? Who knows what a thesaurus is? All right, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But anyways, I love to use those things because they give you a word and then they give you a lot of words that mean the same thing. And so if you're going to alliterate a message, if you want to alliterate a speech, there's a great way to do that. You just go to the thesaurus. Well, I was going through the thesaurus, and this is going to be crazy, but the Lord actually spoke to me as I was going through that thesaurus, and He kind of brought something to my attention and to my mind because I went past the synonyms, right, the words that mean the same thing, to the antonyms, right, the words that are the opposite. And I started to get amazed because as I was looking at that, if you put down Roman numeral 1, obey, can you put down letter A underneath that? Put down letter A underneath that. The way it often is. The way it often is. Because God wants us to obey. He wants us to obey, but unfortunately what happens is we do the opposite of obey. So can I give you a few things, the way it often is? First of all, you can write down number 1 under the way it often is. We disregard. We disregard. Instead of obeying, We disregard what we've just heard. We just kind of like put it off to the side. Number 2, you could put down, we ignore. Like they never even said it, right? How many of you have been in a class where the teacher said, hey, everybody be quiet? And everybody just keeps on talking, totally ignoring what was going on. This is one of my favorites for our seniors. Hey, make sure your phone's up in the pocket, right? I'm sorry, did I say something? I have to give like a personal invitation, right? Sometimes like, did you put yours in the pocket? Did you put yours in the pocket? Did you put yours in the pocket? And again, just kind of totally ignoring what was being said instead of obeying. How about we neglect? We know what we're supposed to do. We just choose not to do what we're supposed to do. Or, every teacher's favorite, we argue, right? We argue. And I love this one because I'm just trying to teach a class. Someone's talking. I say, hey, be quiet. I wasn't talking. And all of a sudden it becomes an argument. I don't need to argue. I just want you to be quiet. That's it, right? And I can see teachers are shaking their heads like, yes, I understand. We argue. Instead of obey, we argue. And I love, like, hey, put your head up. Why anybody would put their head down in my class, it's hard to imagine why anybody would be bored in my class. But they put their head down. I say, hey, put your head up. I wasn't sleeping. I didn't say you were sleeping. I just want your head up, right? Arguing instead of just obeying. And the last one you could put under here, the way it often is, we just simply rebel. I know what you want me to do, but I am not going to do it. I didn't forget. I didn't not hear you. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to rebel against it. So that's the way it often is. And what does the Bible say? Is that profitable for you or unprofitable for you? Not what does Mr. Fullerton say, not what does Mr. Thompson say, not what do your teachers say. What does the Bible say? Is that a profitable way to live your life? Hello? It's unprofitable, correct? That is unprofitable for you. All right, so let's go to the way it should be. So put down letter B, the way it should be. And I'm going to take you back to when I was in 3rd grade. And I learned this, and it has stuck with me the rest of my life. Right? In 3rd grade, I learned the 3 keys to obedience. And here they are, and you may have heard them differently or learned them differently, but this is the way I learned them. This is the way I say them. Number 1, to do what you are told to do. All right, so write that down. How it should be. Number 1, to do what you are told to do. As simple as we can put it. Obedience is doing what you're told to do. Part 2, number 2. Not only doing what you're told to do, but doing it when you are told to do it. Doing it when you are told to do it. So number 1, do what you're told. Number 2, when you're told. And number 3, I think this one brings it all together with the right attitude. With the right attitude. So if you want to know what obedience is doing what you're told, when you're told, with the right attitude. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And when we are obeying those that have the authority over us, as the Bible is telling us to do, we're doing what we're told, when we're told to do it, with the right attitude. That is profitable for you. That is profitable for you, and it's profitable for all the other people in your class as well. Because the teacher is able to do what they need to do. And so that is what obedience is. If one of those pieces is missing, that's unprofitable for you. If you're doing what you're told, but not when you're told to do it, you're not really obeying. If you're doing what you're told when you're told to do it, but you have a terrible attitude about it, you're not really obeying. And that is unprofitable for you. Again, I'm not saying it, the Bible is saying that, okay? So that's the first thing that we want to look at, obedience, to obey. Then notice what else the verse says, obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves. And submit yourselves, right? Sorry, my voice is changing with this beard. All right. So write down letter A. Letter A, the way it often is, right? So put submit for Roman numeral 2. And then put letter A, the way it often is. The way it often is. All right, again, I'm in the thesaurus. I'm looking at the antonyms. And isn't this a lot of times how it is? Instead of us submitting, we do something else. We contradict. We contradict. We say the exact thing. We do the exact opposite of what we're supposed to do. We contradict. We're doing the exact opposite. So we contradict our authority. We, number 2, refuse our authority. We refuse to submit. We refuse to yield ourselves. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But we refuse to do that. We refuse to submit to authority. Number 3, we fight. We fight. This is the way it's supposed to be done. This is the way it needs to happen, but we're going to fight against that. Everything is a fight. Nothing is submissive. Everything is a fight. And then number 4, we just ultimately reject. We refuse to submit. We contradict whatever it is that we're supposed to do the opposite. We fight against it. We reject it. That is the way it often is. Am I correct? Can you guys relate to this in the obedience and in the submission of the way a lot of times we are? We don't obey. We don't submit. We do a lot of these other things. So let me take you to letter B, the way it should be. The way it should be. And when you're talking about submission, we're talking about yielding to authority. So number 1, write down yield to authority. And so some people, when they hear the word yield, they are like, I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe you have seen this sign when you're driving, right? It's a yield sign. It's a upside down triangle, right? And it says yield on it. What does yield mean? What does yield mean? Well, let me give you a couple things that it might mean. So write down number 2. Yield means to cease resistance or contention. To cease resistance or contention. So that yielding means, here's me, here's what my teacher wants, or my parent wants, if we want to take it that way, or my authority wants. Here's what I want to do. And they're not the same. Sometimes they're the exact opposite. My teacher wants me to be quiet and sit down. I want to stand up and I want to talk, right? So there has to be a yielding that takes place. And that's what yielding is, to cease resistance. I'm not going to resist my teacher. I'm not going to have contention with my teacher. I'm actually going to, can you write down under number 2 a small letter A? And this one is going to be tough, I know, but write this down. To acknowledge the superiority of someone else. To acknowledge the superiority of someone else. You're not writing this down? You're crazy. To acknowledge the superiority of someone else. To be inferior. Oh my. Now, what would cause us not to acknowledge the superiority of someone else? What's the word I'm looking for? Pride, right? Pride. No. That person's no better than me. That person's not better than me. You know what, guys? We need to be able to submit to our authority. I don't say to the policeman, you want me to pull over? I don't think so. You're no better than me. Your car's not faster than my minivan. I'm going to keep going, right? No, I submit to authority and I pull over and pay the consequences for that, which I don't want to talk about right now, but we can talk later about that. But to acknowledge the superiority of someone, to actually admit I am inferior. They have a higher place than I do. I am submitting, I am yielding to them. To let others go first, to give the right of way. That's another one. You could write down letter B. To let others go first, to give the right of way. And who is it that we are supposed to submit to? Those that are in authority over us. Those that are in authority over us. And we can argue and we can complain, but this is exactly what the Bible tells us to do. The Bible says that we are to submit to our authority. And when we don't submit, that is unprofitable for me. That's unprofitable for me. When I don't submit to my authority, that's unprofitable for me. If I want to have a profitable life, I'm going to submit to my authority. So then that is Roman numeral 2, to submit. Write down Roman numeral 3. I put this down. To understand. Roman numeral 3 is to understand. And I want you to look at this verse. It says, obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves, for they, those that are in authority over you, watch for your souls. They're here for your good. They watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, because that is unprofitable for you. And so I need you to understand. All right? And so here's the way it often is. Okay, so write down letter A under understand. The way it often is. Number 1, we are ignorant. Now, before you get upset that I would say that we are ignorant, the word ignorant means uninformed, okay? We're ignorant. We're uninformed. We don't always know what's going on. We don't always understand. And we need to make sure that we are informed, that we do understand why it is the teacher is asking us to do a certain thing, why it is that that's going on, right? And again, sometimes when kids get sent to my office, I have an opportunity to explain to them, this is why you need to follow what your teacher is saying in the classroom, because it helps everything to function smoothly. And I try to help them gain an understanding. And when you don't cooperate, then it causes other people not to be able to listen. We're ignorant. Number 2, you could put, we misinterpret. We misinterpret. Sometimes we get it wrong. We think one thing, but we are totally wrong. We misinterpreted what was said. And we don't understand. We misinterpret. And can I tell you, I can share a few stories in my life. I don't have time today of things that I interpreted the wrong way, and it caused a lot of problems for me. Not for anybody else, but for me. We misinterpret. Or number 3, we disapprove. We don't want to do it that way. We don't approve of that way, and so we're not going to do it that way. We just disapprove because it's not what I want. That's the way it often is. But can I give you number B, or letter B? The way it should be. The way it should be. We need to, you ready for this? Write down number 1. I understand that my teachers want the best for me. Can you write that down for me? Number 1, I understand that my teachers want the best for me. Notice, they watch for your souls. They are here for you. They want the best for you. They are trying to do the best for you. Are your teachers perfect? No, unless you have my class. But other teachers, they're not quite there yet, but they're working on it, and that's okay. But they want you to understand, and the Bible wants you to understand that they want what's best for you. And then can I put this down for number 2? I want you to write down, I understand that my teachers are going to have to give an account to God. I understand that my teachers are going to have to give an account to God. And each teacher is going to have to stand before God and give an account for how they taught their classes, how they taught their students, how they treated their students. I understand that. And that's what the Bible is telling us here. As they that must give an account. And I sure do want to notice what it says, that I can give my account with joy and not with grief. Can I tell you this, guys? Look at me, please. I've taught for 20-something years now, and some of your teachers have taught longer than that. There are some students that I'm grieved for. that I literally have grief in my heart because they're not doing what's right, because they have chosen to kind of go their own way and not follow after the Lord. And maybe you know students like that. It grieves us as teachers. It hurts us as teachers because we want to have joy as we give an account for the students that we have taught and the students that have come across through our classrooms. We want to have joy as we look at your lives, not grief. And notice, that is unprofitable for you. So as we wrap this up, I just want to put this out there because to me it makes a lot of sense. When you get upset with your teachers, all right, when you get upset with your teachers, and believe me, I have kids in my office, they tell me that teacher's out to get me, that teacher doesn't like me, that teacher this or that. And I'm like, guys, all of these teachers are my friends. I know these people. They aren't like that. We don't sit in teachers' meeting and discuss certain students and say, how can we make their life miserable today? Which student can we, and we sometimes we draw names out of a hat. And we're like, this student, okay, everybody, this is the student of the month, right? So if you ever get the student of the month, get ready because that's what it is. You're going to get tortured. No, that's not what we do, all right? And so when you get upset at your teacher, who really pays for that? Okay, so let me give you a couple examples real quick. I don't like that teacher, so I'm not going to do their homework that they assigned. Or I'm not going to study for that test because I don't like that teacher. I'm sorry, who pays the price for that? The teacher? The teacher's like, oh my goodness, they don't like me, so they didn't do the homework. I always tell students, look, it's a lot easier to put a 0 in the grade book than 100. You just saved me two numbers that I had to write, right? I don't get hurt by that. And if you think, like, I'm going to really show that teacher, I'm not going to study for this test, and let's watch me bomb it. This is going to be great. I'll show him. You really showed me. No, that is unprofitable for you. I don't like them, so I'm not going to behave in their class. I'm sorry, the only teacher I've ever seen at Saturday detention is Mr. McCain, right? So I've never seen any other teacher serving detention except for Mr. McCain. And Mr. McCain gets paid to do that. So you pay Mr. McCain. So it's kind of like, I don't like Mr. McCain, I'm not going to behave. Well, now you're just giving him more money. Do you want to do that? I mean, that is unprofitable for you. So I just want you to understand that. And again, I just want to end with these thoughts. All right, listen up. Let me finish up here. We are a family. We're just like a family here. And we care for each and every one of you. And we are here for you. And we are for you. I love this statement. And I'll end with this statement before I pray. And I heard this statement years ago. Someone said this: we're on your side, we're not on your back. All right? We're on your side, we're not on your back. And we are here for you, and we are for you. We want you to be profitable. And that's why I'm going through this with you. Because the Bible is very clear about what is profitable for you, and that is to obey, to submit, and to understand what's going on. And I hope those are some things that can help you, and I hope it's something that changes your perspective of how you view your teachers, your school, and things like that.